Happy Monday, PDHP parents and community, and a special hello to the teachers, the faculties, the administrators, the principals out there who are tuning in. This is our Mindfulness Today is for You piece, and this is the one that we bring into our faculties. So we were doing a little bit of toolkitting, things that you can use in your classroom, but think about some of these things for yourself as well, whether they are things that you would use professionally or things that you would use personally. For example, I remember always committing before I walked into my 8th grade classroom. Before I stepped over the threshold, I would commit for a few seconds just to kind of get my mindset right. And one way I used to do that too was even on my door, I would put a motivating quote. The kids would see it, I would see it. I think the kids thought it was for them. I think my admin thought, oh, this is really nice, how encouraging and inspiring. And yes, I agreed to all of that. But honestly, it was really for me. It was a way that I set the tone. And it was also really for me internally. We have a million things going on in our lives, and sometimes taking that deep breath before you step into something can change the way you handle it and use the best of your energy. So one of the things I have here for you is from the Calm book. So I was talking about the Calm app, and it's something that I enjoy. There are tons of apps out there. I am playing some music and soundscapes from that Calm app, but I will share you that idea of mindful eating. So say you're taking a little break in the faculty room and you grab a cup of coffee or even just refill your water bottle. Consider, pulling in all of your senses. Are you really stopping to taste that item? Smell that item? Look at that item. They say we eat with our eyes first. So what are you noticing? How does it feel on your fingertips? What do you hear? Is there ice in your water bottle that are clinking around? You could do this, of course, with chocolate. We did this workshop a number of times, and the teachers loved that they got Dove chocolates, because not only was it Dove chocolate, we would bring dark chocolate for those antioxidants, but also the fact that you would open it and there was a great little saying inside. So it even brought the mindfulness all the more further. But consider, it takes 30 seconds to mindfully eat. And when you do that, it brings you back to your real time. Because oftentimes our minds go either before us or way after us. So we are going into the areas of coulda, woulda, shoulda, which can be a really low energy kind of cycle for us, or we could go into, oh, this is going on, I have to, and ruminate about future events. So there's, depression, anxiety, and stress related there. Please do not disturb. Okay, a digital detox. Wow. I mean, this year, consider how connected we are to our devices. So I know this is hard, but I want you to think about, we've always had policies in our schools around devices. How about you in your home? How about you personally? Can we get a break from these things? Do we have a curfew for ourselves? After this time at night, I am no longer going to check my inbox. I'm no longer going to respond to that text thread from my friends. I am no longer going to read from my device because, guys, even with those filters and the filter glasses, the blue light still stimulates us. How can I wind down and be restful? Considering also that idea of having these devices out during mealtime. Do we eat more? Do we eat less? Are we enjoying our food? Are we talking to the people around us? Or are we just filling in? Maybe listening to some nice music instead. Maybe reading a book instead. Keeping smartphones in your pockets when meeting friends, or anyone, are we so into our phone that we are losing the person-to-person contact that we so desire? We can still socially distance and have a conversation with a friend face to face. So put those phones away and connect in a more personal manner. Devices in the bedroom as well. Consider Easter break is coming. Go splurge, get yourself a battery operated alarm clock and set that up for yourself, okay? Because again, there's a tendency to want to check these things first thing in the morning, and it really isn't a mindful start to the day. It can be very stressful. Time management. I used this with a junior high I had. This is a worksheet from Cold Turkey and Elevate Educate, and basically what we would do is fill in time that we had already allotted for something, whether it was after school program, as you can see, dinner with family and friends, daily routines like hygiene after school and in the evenings, sleep, study, extracurriculars, chores, that kind of thing. So again, when someone would say, well, I'm not able to, well, how are we really using our time? And this is a great lesson for kids. You're always going to need time management. And a lot of times, I know as teachers, we discuss that. Sometimes parents don't know how to do this, how to teach them time management. So just something to consider. What do you want to let go of? I love this. We used to do the balloons, but you can't kind of do that anymore, but environmental issues. But just even thinking, what can you let go of, and write it down in a piece like this, or write it on a piece of paper, crumple it, let it go. Even at night, there are a lot of things that keep us up at night or wake us up, and our mind is worrying and worrying. Can you write those things down before you go to sleep, or during those moments where you can't get back to sleep? And let it go for that time. Causes of stress. I think sometimes, this is meant to be a fun little do now for the adults in the workshop, but if you take a look at some of those words, sometimes we forget where stress is. And again, another thing, routine. A lot of times this year when we talked about, what is helpful living through a pandemic, it is routine. Having routines gives everyone a sense of control and everyone a sense of normalcy. What's your routine like? Here we have one that would be replicated maybe for your younger students. And again, I say to you parents, take nothing for granted. Our parents are out here doing the best that they can, but sometimes they don't realize how important a routine is. And I laugh because I think about one of the dads who said to me, well, I don't have a routine, because we come home and we do this and we do that. And he goes, oh, I guess we do have a routine. As much as I don't want to structure things and I don't want to keep things so rigid, he's like, there is a bit of a routine going on there. We all know what to expect when we have a routine. It's a way to communicate. And this one. If you've been in this workshop before, you know that this is a little giveaway that you have. And you take a look at it. And you share with the group that you're sitting in, some of your colleagues, what you do that is a stress reliever, that is a mindful activity. And then you look again and you see if you can add one in there. What else would you want to do? What else would you add in? Right? So we also say, hang this up for your faculty, hang this up for your colleagues, and keep that in the room with them. So that you guys can go to that and say, hey, did you practice this? Did you do this? Did you do that? And finally, communication. How are we communicating? When we were in college, we learned about opened and closed questions and comments. We learned about reflective listening. And if you had done any of the group skills, group facilitator skills trainings from PDHP, you definitely learned a lot about this. Consider, how does communicating like this with your students, your colleagues, your school community, the parents, personally for you even? How does this make a difference? So a lot to think of as we are going through tools and tips and toolkit items for our mindfulness today is for you. Have a great day.